KBLA.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Soulmate signs and signals. 7 identifying signs of a true soulmate. A soulmate is someone who shares a strong spiritual connection with you. Do you know how to identify your true soulmate with the help of science? There are a lot of definitions floating around for the term soulmate. However, if we come to think of it, the meaning is pretty simple. A soulmate is someone who is a mate of your soul first and foremost. A soulmate is someone who shares a similar energy and similar purpose as yours, and therefore you two share a strong spiritual connection. I believe soulmates come together to remind us of our purpose and help us to awaken to the reality of who we really are. Soulmates don't have to be necessarily romantic, but most often they are because of the strong attraction and connection between them. If you are wondering if you have encountered a soulmate connection, here are the 7 telltale signs and signals. Sign number 1. You feel an instant soul connection. You feel a very strong attraction and pull towards your soulmate. There is an instant sense of familiarity that you have known them before. It is because your soul recognizes the energy of their soul, even if you may be meeting them for the first time in this lifetime. The intensity of attraction and pull that you will feel for them will be unlike you have ever felt before for anyone else. You will feel aligned with them on levels emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and the physical chemistry will be palpable. Sign number 2. There is strong communication. Soulmates have strong empathy and intuition, and they can finish each other's sentences, but expecting them to know everything that is there on your mind is unrealistic. However, a clear sign of a soulmate relationship is that they have a very strong foundation for communication. They have a very strong bonding.
Come on now. Yes, the violins and the violins in the background are all beautiful or whatnot. Right? And soulmates can read your mind. Listen, sometimes I read my girl's mind. Sometimes she reads mine. Listen, we gotta stop making certain assumptions, man. I like the way Bob Marley put it. He said, truth is, everybody is going to hurt you. You just got to find the ones worth suffering for. I love that from Bob Marley, right? You got to find the ones that are worth suffering for. Tonight's topic, we're talking about this because I'm seeing a lot of people out here talking about soulmates and, I found my soulmate. I believe that everybody you meet is part. Now, I've heard people say this is a soulmate, but I've heard people say the relationships that you've been in are a part of something, a larger group called a soul group, right? A soul group. So the relationships that you've been a part of, all of these people are part of a soul group. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you were paying attention, you're going to find that you learned something from every situation you were in. Every situation is going to reveal something to you about you. Yes, Attila is in the chat room. Call in, Attila, 1-800-920-1580. She's mentioning soul tribe. Yes, there's such a thing. There's a term out here called soul tribe. Now, this is very interesting. Let's see what it says. Your soul tribe or soul family is a group of people who you intuitively connect with on a deep level. Soul tribe relationships are anything but shallow, right? There's a deep resonance at the soul level that you intuitively understand is different and special. For me, everyone you meet is in your soul tribe or you wouldn't meet them. Everyone you interact with is in your soul tribe or you wouldn't interact. See, go back to what do they call it? Fine-tuning. The fine-tuned universe. See, people want to use science and throw science and spirituality around just to prove their point. But if the universe is fine-tuned at the microscopic level to the degree that if any of these universal constants that Einstein talked about were off just a gnat's hair, we couldn't exist here on planet Earth. So if the universe is so finely tuned that all of the major physicists that are out there ponder, did a divine designer actually create the thing? That's their fancy way of saying God. An intelligent divine designer, some type of designer, some type of architect, right? If that's the case, if the universe is fine-tuned at the microscopic level, you think your relationships are random? You think the people that come into your life are random, have absolutely no meaning whatsoever? I beg to differ. And that gives me the cause to say a soul tribe is anybody you meet. Because keep in mind, you're not going to meet everybody on planet Earth. I don't care how wealthy you are. I don't care how much you travel. You're not going to meet everybody on planet Earth. But the people that you connect with and resonate with, I would contend, are a part of your soul tribe, right? I would say are a part of your soul tribe. And I would also say the people you get into these intimate relationships with, definitely part of your soul tribe. You have to understand the path to a thriving, loving relationship with your soulmate, quote unquote soulmate, I'm not a fan of the term, requires introspection and communication. There has to be a willingness to heal past wounds by addressing unresolved traumas and improving communication and managing expectations and fostering reciprocity and recognizing the impact of past relationships. You can ensure that you and your partner might be able to cultivate something at a deeper level. But can we be honest tonight? Just like the clip we played yesterday, who was the psychiatrist or the psychologist we played yesterday who said people really don't want to be in relationships? Do you know how difficult it is to have a deep, meaningful, substantive relationship?
It's not easy work. The deeper you go, the more is revealed. The more is revealed, the more responsibility you have to heal it. And a lot of people just don't have the time, the patience, or even the desire to even want to do all of that. And I know it's frustrating. But yet, Disney tells us to pursue the soulmate. Disney tells us, one day soon, my prince will come. But if you living like a spiritual pauper, do you deserve a prince? You can't have the prince until you cultivate the inner princess, and vice versa. In the pursuit of a soulmate, individuals often envision a harmonious and fulfilling partnership. However, if I sit you down and I ask you, what's your communication style? Where'd you get it from? What's your family's communication style? How do you guys handle conflict? How do you guys manage conflict? How do you guys talk about conflict? Do you sweep it under the rug? Or do you guys sit down and collaborate on solutions? Are you guys competitive? Are you guys combative? Are you guys avoidant? Who are you as a communicating family? And is that your style of communication? Right? Right? Yeah, but you want this guy or this woman or this man to come in and just sweep everything. Everything's love now. It's fulfilling and harmonious. Huh? Miscommunication, unheard or unhealed trauma, unrealistic expectation. All of this stuff is sitting there waiting to be dealt with. That's why we relate. That's why you can't just ask for a relationship. You have to be ready for a relationship. Do you know the difference? That's why some people, if you talk to some spiritualists, they'll tell you, are you sure you want this? You better be ready before you ask for this. You want a life with somebody? You better be ready. Don't just say I want somebody because you're lonely. Because the only person you with all the time is you, and you don't like you. So I just want to be with somebody. No. Are you ready to be with somebody? Are you open to their humanity? That's an ugly question. Sit your woman down, sit your man down, and ask, are you open to living with my humanity? Whoa, Andy, are you ready for that? Andy said he ready. Arabia, you ready? Yes. She says she ready too. All right, when we come forward, we're going back to the phone lines. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. Let's talk.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Extreme heat increases your risk of heat illness and death. Warning signs of heat exhaustion include muscle cramps, headache, and nausea. Signs of heat stroke include a fever of 103 or higher, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Protect yourself by limiting time spent outdoors, staying hydrated, and staying cool in air-conditioned spaces. Learn how to stay safer from extreme heat at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
I'm MC Light for Hip Hop Heritage, celebrating 50 years of hip hop, authentically powered by Cadillac. Wow. Reflecting on my life in hip hop, First off, as one of the early female MCs, I knew I had to be twice as nice as the male rappers out. Flow, style, voice, conviction. Lyrically, I had to double down on everything I delivered if I was going to get my respect. And I'm from Brooklyn, so you best believe I was going to take it. Hip-hop is everything. It's not just music, it's culture, it's fashion. It's the way you move. It's swag. It's hip-hop heritage, brought to you by Cadillac.
For more on how Cadillac is celebrating hip-hop's 50th, visit Cadillac.com/audacity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's like a best friend, but more. It's the one person in the world who knows you better than anyone else. It's someone who makes you a better person. Actually, they don't make you a better person, you do that yourself. Because they inspire you. A soulmate is someone who you carry with you forever. It's the one person who knew you and accepted you and believed in you before anyone else did, or when no one else would. And no matter what happens, you'll always love them. Nothing can ever change that.
From the beginning, it's been you and me. We've had our quarrels, but overall, it's been a hell of a lot of fucking fun.
It looks like we won, after everything.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Can't be selfish. Me and Tommy robbed George's house. We didn't mean for it to burn.
The discs don't matter, Tommy!
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason back in the building. Ho-ho! Let's get it cracking. Can you and your soulmate turn each other into cellmates? And I contend that we start off as cellmates. And as we free ourselves of all the negativity we have accrued growing up, right? We shed all of the outside narratives and we start, becoming our own author, self-author, that we can cultivate soulmate relationships. Now, the role of self-awareness is big in cultivating a soulmate kind of relationship. Self-awareness plays a vital role in preventing unrealistic expectations. Partners should reflect on their own desires, needs, and limitations. Remember, I said the relationship with the self is more important. The relationship with the self is not necessarily more important, but is crucial to cultivating healthy relationships with other people, right? So when you cultivate this self-awareness, you understand some of your own limitations, right? You'll be able to look at yourself and say, you know what, sometimes I ask too much of my partner, not understanding their internal process and not making room for it. Recognizing and managing, personal expectations can foster a healthier level of communication in your relationship, and it can also prevent disappointment because unrealistic expectations typically always lead to disappointment. Then in a healthy relationship where you can cultivate this soulmate tag, expressing appreciation. Now, I did a show many years ago with Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And he said something very powerful to me. He says, when you listen to women, when you listen to your woman, this is how you know you got a soulmate, sister. When you listen to your woman without judgment and or instruction, this is what he said. Now, you can agree or disagree. You can say this is the truth or not. But he said, without judgment and without instruction, he says her oxytocin levels go up, which is the bonding hormone. When you lean in and listen without instruction or judgment, she gets closer to you. She opens up, she talks, she listens, she speaks more because now she doesn't feel like she's being scrutinized. She doesn't feel disrespected. She feels, here's the big word. She feels safe. When your woman can sit down and just be like, let me tell you something else. You know what? I was on the plane the other day and I just cut one. I just let one out. And nobody knew about it. But it permeated the whole cabin. If she telling you stories like, listen, when you see a woman joyful in your presence, joyful in your home, that's how you know she's safe. Oxytocin levels going up. That's the bonding hormone. Brothers always want to answer because brothers have been conditioned in this toxic society to not listen to women without judgment or criticism. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, and yeah, you got the smarty-arty book smarts, but that don't work in the real world. I'll tell you why. And we always got some type of critique. Let me tell you something. Sit down and let me show you the real direction you're supposed to be going in. Man, listen, if you made your woman safe, you'll be surprised what level of wisdom and inspiration could come out of her soul in advocacy of yours. You'd be surprised. I'm laying it out. Dr. John Gray shared that with me. He said, when you listen to women without instruction or judgment, her oxytocin levels go through the roof. Then he flipped it and said, ladies, did you know that if you appreciate your man for the smallest thing, his testosterone levels go through the roof? He needs testosterone to function as a man. His brain, his skin, everything. If you just, baby, there's a mouse in here. Let me get in there. Let me handle this mouse. Baby, I need you to put a light in in the kitchen. All right, I got the light. I got lights everywhere. You know, thank you, baby. You know, baby, I took your car to get washed. Oh, did you now? Thank you. Boom, testosterone level. He feels appreciated. He feels wanted. Men want to be wanted in some, hey, you need security? You need help? You need protection? You need, what do you need? Right? Testosterone through the roof. All right? You want a real soulmate relationship? You have to cultivate self-awareness. You have to express appreciation. Right? You have to be fearless and respectful and non-judgmental when you're addressing unresolved issues from the past. Right? Unresolved issues from the past can contribute to miscommunication. Partners should identify and respectfully and empathetically and compassionately address these issues through open and honest communication, seeking closure. That's a big one. We're not talking so we can talk again later. We're talking to be honest and open and compassionate and empathetic so we don't have to talk again. Anytime you got to talk about something more than one time, you know why? Because it hasn't really been addressed. It hasn't really been, we really just scraping the surface. We don't want to go deep. Right? That's why we had the conversations over and over again. So again, we have to have the courage to seek closure, to seek forgiveness, real forgiveness, not conditional forgiveness. And then we also got to go seek professional support. Let's not be afraid to go holler at Dr. Jashana Johnson or Dr. Sunshine, Dr. Sunshine, Shalonda Crawford. Let's not be afraid to go do that. This is what real, in my opinion, this is what real soulmate relationships look like. We got to learn how to manage conflict. We're not trying to end conflict. We're trying to manage it. You got to remember, conflict is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. That's why seeking closure means, hey, we took it as far as we can go for now. We're going to leave it right there. If we gain some tools in the future, we can come back and deal with it with our new skill set. But until we get there, we got to be cool with where we are if we're committed to staying together. This is what grown-ups do. We shouldn't be afraid of discussing long-term goals and expectations as long as they're realistic, right? You want a soulmate relationship, don't you? And then emotional support has to be on deck. Man, I got so much to talk about, and we got callers. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to the callers because I want to hear their thoughts.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. House Republicans held their first meeting in their impeachment investigation of President Biden. Republicans are looking into whether the president improperly profited off of his son Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings while vice president. The Biden administration has denied that claim. Meantime, President Biden is calling out Donald Trump as a threat to democracy. In a speech honoring the late Senator John McCain in Arizona, Biden said the former president is not guided by the Constitution, but by vengeance and vindictiveness. He warned that the so-called MAGA movement doesn't share the basic beliefs of democracy, which he says is at risk. And travelers are keeping an eye on how a looming federal government shutdown could affect flights. Congress has until Saturday to reach a deal to avoid the shutdown. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Water. All of life depends on it. So, for the love of water, California, everyone has a part to play when it comes to reducing water waste. Let's make conservation a way of life. Find ways to conserve at saveourwater.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, in downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of reason.
Yo, so I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain.
I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of reason.
KBLA Talk 1580, the VOR is on fire tonight. I don't know if y'all been listening to my playlist tonight, but as you know, my playlist is my co-host. We've been on fire tonight. Some of the records, man, just legendary love records, man, and I think it's all apropos, especially lined up with what we're talking about tonight. Can you and your soulmate turn each other into cellmates? I don't agree with the whole term soulmate. I think we're deeper than soulmates. I think everybody has a soul, and I think everybody you meet is a soulmate in that regard. I don't think that there's some special lofty, the only one type person. I think everybody plays a role in your maturation to some degree. And, I mean, it's been very heavy tonight. Wait a minute. Andy got something to say. Here come Andy.
So explain soul ties.
Again, we all have souls. Now, when we talk about soul ties, right, just the same thing as trauma bonding. Same thing as our central nervous system relating to each other. It's the same thing. Same thing as relationship as a mirror. Now, let's go even deeper. Since you brought up soul ties, we should change it to sex ties. Yeah, because when you add sex, because sex is part of the soul. Sex is how human beings manifest. Don't you know you and your wife can lay down with a prescribed plan to pray for prosperity during sexual intercourse and start manifesting? Oh, y'all don't know about Tantra, and y'all don't know about that? Sex prayers. Do you want me to do the topic? Do you want me to come in here and blow the roof off? Get ready. Don't make me do this tonight, man. So, again, everybody has a soul. See, we seem to think, check this out. We seem to think that we can walk away from a person. Oh, we done had sex. We done did all this. We done connected. We done exchanged fluids, and it ain't nothing. Man, the universe is holographic. Man, the whole of everything is happening when we're manifesting. Don't make me do sex prayers. Don't make me do it. Next week, sex prayers. I will do that. Listen, don't make me, but I will. But I'm just saying, like, when you talk about soul ties, man, on the deepest level, that's why you have to be very careful of who you open yourself up to, because you're taking in their work too. You're taking in their resistance. You're taking in their darkness. You're taking in a lot. So you have to be aware. Somebody said hallelujah for sex prayers. No, this is real stuff. Like, sex is how we procreate. But we don't just procreate children. You can be pregnant with the idea of a business. You can be pregnant with a purpose, and you can give birth to a purpose. You can give birth to a business. You can give birth to more than just a child. You can give birth to your darkest shadow thoughts. Ooh, Lord, we're going to talk about that in sex prayers. Huh? Hey, I digress. Let me get my callers in here. Callers, who's been on the longest? Attila, Houston, Texas. Get in here.
What up, Uncle Zoe?
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, I'm turned up tonight. How are you? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I'm well. So, I believe in soulmates to a certain extent. I mean, I think that, honestly, the way that our society is set up, we're just too 3D. Like, we're too focused on, I think, our material well-being. And I think that gets in the way of our relationships quite a bit. And then you add wounds in there, it's a mess.
Yes, but I agree with you. I agree with soulmates. I just don't believe, I think we're all, because we all have soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have soul. I think we all have the potential to be the soulmate. That's my thought on it. I don't think there's, I think, you know, the way the videos and the way the wording is out there, everybody seems to think that there's one soulmate that's going to come in and fix your problems. And I'm saying that's just not how relationships are set up spiritually. Your thought on that?
I completely agree. I mean, I would also say, too, you're sent to people with a purpose, right? If you're somebody who has a purpose, a mission, whatever you want to call it, your reasoning for being in that person's life is going to vary. So I think, so you understand at that point that you're going to be sent to many people. So the whole idea that it's just this one person has always been like, there's just no way. There's just no way. I've always thought like that too, but I think when you are not doing your work, it's a lot easier to lean into, as you say, the Disney-fied version of things.
Well, and you're touching on something really big here, and I'm glad you called in, so let's look at it in this light. You're going to be in the stream of people that are just like you until you change. And when you change, everything else changes, right? When you change, everything changes, right? So again, everybody at the level of consciousness you're at is a potential soulmate. And they could be toxic, and their toxicity can mirror your toxicity and vice versa, right? But when you start to elevate, when you start to challenge who you want to be, you start to raise out of the stream of consciousness you're in into another stream of consciousness. And it might be a slightly higher stream of consciousness, right? So when that happens, you have a different experience coming into you, drawn to you. Does that make sense?
Correct. It's so weird. I was watching, I don't know if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Of course.
And Aang is like, you know, the airbender, but he's also someone who can access all the other abilities as well. And so he's learning how to activate his chakras in this one particular episode. And he's having to let go of different things in order to access that chakra, right? So an example would be if he wants to access, you know, the chakra that's in the center of his head, well, that's truth. So what does that mean? He's got to let go of lies. And I think we somewhat go on a similar journey once we start to seek higher vibrations.
That's big. That's big. You'll see. All you have to do is heal you. And you'll see how many wounds on the inside and on the outside fall off. Uh-oh. You'll see how many inside and outside wounds go on vacation. When you heal you, you'll be like, all the people I used to kick it with, they just fell off on their own. Do you understand? That's
Like
changing.
my pastor used to say, you can't talk about church with your weed buddy. You just can't. It's just not gonna work.
Hey, sweetheart, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for the insight. You brought Houston, Texas in the building. When I come forward, I'm going back to Texas. Because Texas represents big time up in here. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to Dallas, Texas. We still got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're wondering if I care about you. Is there some cause that I should doubt you? Oh, I can see more that you don't know me very well. You're so unsure, and you run here and there to ask my feelings. Friends only guess, they can't say really. Oh.
That playlist is out of control, ladies and gentlemen. The emotions. Man. You're a cellmate until you become your own soulmate. When you start to love your soul, when you become your soul's helpmate, you become a soulmate unto yourself. And when you become a soulmate unto yourself, you can be a soulmate to someone else. You're a cellmate in the beginning. You come with your baggage, you come with your demands, you come with your complaints, you come with your specificity of expectations. Yes, you're a cellmate. You come with a template that you try to pour your partner into as if they were some type of liquid, and your concretized ideas are going to make them fit into your reality. This is not how a relationship works. Truemonger from Dallas, Texas, get in here, my friend. Please wrap it up for the world. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, bro?
Man, I think people fall into the cellmate category because they become comfortable. They get to a point where they feel like they can't do any more self-work or whatever, and they just fall into that place where they don't want to put no more effort into themselves as far as growing within their relationships. Like, this is good as it's going to get. I'm with this person for however long. I'm comfortable. Which to me, that's just another form of fear. Because you're not continuing your self-work. You're not continuing to grow within that relationship. You're just being complacent, in my opinion.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother. What do you...
I mean,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying there's always work to do. But a lot of times, you can't really ask somebody to be open to someone else's humanity when a lot of people aren't open to their own. They're just steady going by what society dictates and what they've been conditioned to do. They never really take time to look at themselves to figure out what's going on with them, or have honest conversations with their partner to at least try to give them some understanding of where you may be at this point in time.
Man, I love it, brother. I love it. Truemonger, you my brother for life, man. You brought Dallas, Texas in the building. I appreciate you, fam.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you for jumping in here and cooking it up with me, man. Nothing but love. Listen, we got 5 minutes left in the show. Of course, you know who's coming up next. Our good friend, Jill Monroe. She has the RSVP show. We love it, man. She keeps the fire going all the way up till midnight. Stay tapped in, stay tuned in. But I've got some thoughts from the great Jiddu Krishnamurti. A man who loves obviously has no enmity. And to all things, right? And to all these things, he is indifferent. Sympathy, forgiveness, the relationship of possessiveness, jealousy, and fear, all of these things are not love. They are all of the mind, are they not? The mind can only corrupt love. It cannot give birth to love. It cannot give beauty. You can write a poem about love, but that is not love. Jiddu Krishnamurti, from his book Relationship to Oneself, to Others, and to the World. He said, deeply our life is a confusion, a mess, a misery, an agony. The more sensitive we are, the more the despair, the anxiety, the guilt feeling, and naturally we want to escape from it because we haven't found an answer. We don't know how to get out of this confusion. We want to go to some other realm, to some other dimension. We escape through music, through art, through literature, but it is just an escape. It has no reality in comparison with what we're seeking. All escapes are similar. Whether it be through the door of a church, through God or a savior, through the door of drink or various drugs, we must not only understand what and why we are seeking, but we must understand this demand for deep, abiding experience. Because it is only the mind that does not seek at all, that does not demand any experience in any form, that can enter into a realm, into a dimension that is totally new. He's simply saying love has no expectations. Love has no demands. But we're raised in a society that says, you're supposed to give to me what I never got. You're supposed to give to me what I've been told that I can't give to myself. Wayne Dyer puts it in another way. He says, everything in the universe has a purpose. Indeed, the invisible intelligence that flows through everything in a purposeful fashion is also flowing through you. Why is that important? Because your goal should be what Wayne Dyer says next. My goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be. Ooh. So you want that relationship. You want to be better than you used to be. You want to change the trajectory of your relationships. You have to change the trajectory of the relationship you're in with yourself. Now, that's my final thought on this. And listen, you don't have to agree, but guess what? My television show is being relaunched October 16th. October 16th, the relaunch of my television show, The Situation Shift. Listen, if you haven't done it already, download the Our TV 78 app. Download it. It will premiere October 16th. You cannot miss it. You cannot miss it. We got all new episodes coming up. Please tap in. October 16th, Our TV 78. That is the app. Please, please, please support your brother Zoe Williams. Also, once again, don't forget Jill Monroe, RSVP with Jill Monroe. She's up next. I want to shout out Andy. Andy, brother, you did your thing tonight, man. I appreciate it. You like that playlist too, don't you? That playlist had everybody swooning, man. We appreciate it. Listen, I'm the voice of reason. Y'all gonna catch me next week. I got a whole slate of topics that I have to cultivate over the weekend. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. We out of here. Deuces.
Fill your life with a satisfied